Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's me again. And this one I'm going to talk. I'm doing this talk all alone because no one wants to partner with me. No, I'm kidding. So what I'd like to do is simply talk to you about something that the Vista Center has been involved with many other partners. And it's to actually have a national policy on brain injuries for Canada. And I will repeat, a national policy. And I've entitled this talk, Analysis, Description, and Future Steps. Next slide, please. Oh, that's right, I can do this. All right, so let me start with statistics. We all love numbers, so I'm going to go through some numbers just to let you know why this national strategy is important. So in Canada, the annual incidence of acquired brain injury is 44 times more common than spinal cord injuries, 30 times more common than breast cancer, and 400 times more common than HIV or AIDS. The incidence and prevalence of brain injury surpasses that of HIV, spinal cord injury, breast cancer, and multiple sclerosis combined. So the question is, well, if it's much more than all of those, why don't we even have like a national policy? Statistics. Annually, over 165,000 Canadians, 165,000, suffer a traumatic brain injury, contributing to a national prevalence surpassing 1.5 million cases. Next slide, please. Oops, see me again. It's okay. Statistics 2. So despite provinces meeting healthcare criteria, the current state of brain injury services supports across the country is characterized by fragmentation, isolation, and chronic underfunding. I will skip the second one, and I will go to the third one. The critical need for a comprehensive national strategy to include brain injury awareness, prevention, treatment, and the holistic recovery of Canadians struggling with brain injuries is paramount to address this pressing national concern. So those statistics, as you can see, brain injuries are prevalent. And I want to focus on two particular areas, homelessness and incarceration. 80% of prisoners have sustained a brain injury, with more than 60% of them sustaining their first brain injury as a child and often at the hands of abuse. More than 50% of homeless people report having a TBI. So the background is the following. On June 2, 2022, in consultation with the CGB Center for Traumatic Life Losses, Brain Injury Canada, and associations Canada-wide, we came together to establish a national strategy for brain injury in Canada. It is, if you wish, Bill C-277, and I will describe this bill for you. In October 2023, a delegation of brain injury survivors, family members, brain injury associations, service providers such as Vista, researchers and organizations traveled to Ottawa to meet from all parties to ask for their support of Bill C-277. So what is Bill C-277? So I will go through some of these, not all of them, and I will go through them one by one. A, to promote the implementation of preventive measures to reduce the risk of brain injuries. So preventive measures. 2, identify the training, education, and guidance needs of healthcare and other professionals related to brain injury prevention and treatment and the rehabilitation of such. C, promote research and improve data collection. And believe me, I am in the brain injury field, and data collection is an issue, whether you are in the province of Ontario or any other province in Canada. D, promote information and knowledge sharing with respect to brain injury prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. E, create national guidelines on the prevention, diagnosis, and management of brain injuries in all communities. And I will repeat that one. Create national guidelines. F, promote awareness and education with particular emphasis on improving public understanding and protecting the rights of persons living with a brain injury. G, foster collaboration with and provide financial support to national, provincial, and local brain injury associations and brain injury services providers across Canada, because right now it is a patchwork. We are all not funded in the same fashion, and even in the same province, we are all not funded in the same fashion. And H, encourage consultation with mental health professionals, particularly in education institutions, sports organizations, and workplaces, to provide persons who are suffering from the effects of a brain injury, including mental health and addiction problems, what is support system within the community. So these are what is contained in Bill C-277, and I will emphasize two of them. One is national guidelines that you see here, and the last one is to provide the proper support system within the community. To continue again, identify challenges resulting from brain injuries, and I cannot stress that enough because there are a lot of brain injury survivors within this community right now or within this room. Identify challenges, and I can't emphasize enough when I'm talking with politicians that each brain injury, each person that has a brain injury, it is all different. They all have their own journey. G, maintain in collaboration with Brain Injury Canada a national information website providing current facts, research, and best practices related to the diagnosis and management of brain injuries. And K, and this is another important one, establish a task force to include policymakers, stakeholders, community agencies such as VISTA, brain injury associations, and Indigenous groups, as well as persons who have experienced a brain injury and their families, to make recommendations in relation to the national strategy. So that means an awful lot of people coming together, as well as yourselves, caregivers, service providers, and all of us to work together to make recommendations in relation to this national strategy. So what are the next steps? There has already been this bill debated in the House of Commons. The second hour of debate for Bill C-277 is taking place on June 6th. The vote is scheduled for June 12th, which was yesterday. Oh, excuse me, yeah, today. Excuse me. Hey, I have a brain injury too. So the vote is scheduled for June 12th. I will ask you all to cross your fingers, cross your legs, and everything else, and that this vote will go through. We are very, very enthusiastic that it will go through because we have the support of all of the political national parties. And within this, I would like to leave you with this, and it's called the power of one. The power of one is that one person can change the future, that one person's actions can actually change the lives of many. And this is a quote from Dr. Bieberdorf. The reason I'm including this is that we got together as a group to try and change the landscape for brain injury, and it is really the power of one, but also the power of the many. And I will leave you with this last slide to say thank you, merci. And if you do not recognize this, it is Neo from The Matrix when he is considered to be the one. So I wanted to explain to you a little bit about this bill, C-277, and hopefully to say it will go through. The next step will go to the Senate. After that, if the Senate approves it, it becomes a national policy. Then we will need, and I can't emphasize this, we will need your help to make this national policy a reality. but also we will need your help, whether you are a caregiver, a survivor of brain injury, service provider, or whatever, to make this a reality, but I make all the recommendations to the policy makers and to make it happen. So thank you very much for your time.